this is exactly a sign that other powers are rising in the region. And what they really want is, yes, they want trade deals and energy and all the other sorts of things, but they also want Russia to kind of recognize its new, more limited capacities and to, in a way, just back off.
Just very briefly, how secure is Putin's position himself? We keep reading about people, changing defense ministers and army generals. Does he have to keep shuffling the pack to keep himself safe?
Look, he's pretty much secure at the moment. In effect, because there's no alternative. There's a lot of people who are unhappy with the situation, but no one can really start having the conversations about how we replace him. If there's some kind of sudden unexpected shock, things may change. But otherwise, I'm afraid we're stuck with Putin for the moment.
Vladimir Putin has spoken to the Prime Minister of Azerbaijan and referred to the downing of a plane by saying the tragic incident occurred in Russian airspace. It's not an apology, but it is the closest that the Russian president has come to apologizing. That's the opinion, at least, of one of the world's leading experts on Russian crime and security, Mark Galeotti. He's with me now. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Hello there.
My take on this is that it is a sign of Vladimir Putin's weakness, that he doesn't want to alienate the Azerbaijani prime minister. And however autocratic the Azerbaijan regime may be, they have to take account of public opinion, and public opinion is not in favor of one of their planes being shot down by the Russians.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, this is not some kind of flabby democratic Western leader of the sort that Putin obviously disdains, but a fellow strongman. And he knows full well that Ilham Aliyev, basically the dictator of Azerbaijan, is not only powerful himself, he also has his hand on about £30 million worth of gas sales every month that sort of effectively laundered. Russian gas sales are laundered through Azerbaijan. And also he's allied to another strong man, the Turkish President Erdogan, who at the moment Putin is hoping will be able to help him persuade the new Syrian government to let him keep his bases there. So for all those reasons, the man who famously never apologized has, as he said, come closest to it than we've ever seen.
Yes, so this is so interesting in terms of the wider sort of geopolitics here. We're focused obviously on Russia's attention on Europe, on Ukraine, on the Baltic states. We should be paying more attention next year to Russia's relations with its closest neighbours. As Russia weakens because of the effect of its war in Ukraine, countries like Turkey are going to assert themselves more and more, as are other neighbours like Azerbaijan and indeed Kazakhstan.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, basically, Russia has already lost most of its authority in the post-Soviet South Caucasus, and there Turkey is the real sort of regional player. You mentioned Kazakhstan, I mean, a very large Central Asian country. Ironically enough, just before he invaded Ukraine, Putin was instrumental in helping the current leader of Kazakhstan, Tokayev, essentially seize power, pushing out his predecessor. But Tokayev now has no problem in criticizing the war. And Russia depends on Kazakhstan for all kinds of sort of grey imports of sanctions-busting goods. So as you say, I mean, Putin is in a strong position, but he's not so strong that he can handle crises on every single flank. So this is, as you say, something we'll have to watch for in 2025.
And what kind of things would Russia's neighbours want to kind of extract from Russia? I mean, at the moment, it is becoming... What will Turkey want, for example? Will it want to be effectively left as the controller of northern Syria? Will it want Russia to maintain its presence in Syria?
Yeah, I think, look, from Turkey's point of view, I don't think it really cares that much about whether or not Russia maintains its presence in Syria. It's just delighted to have this as another bargaining chip. I mean, essentially, what Turkey wants is this notion of a sort of a greater Ottoman sphere of influence. I mean, I think essentially Russia's going to have to abandon Syria. Russia's probably going to have to slightly modulate its position as regards Iran, because obviously up to now it's been very much leaning on Iran. But more to the point, Turkey's President Erdogan, he loves being able to basically play both sides off against each other, the West against Russia. So whenever the West gets a little bit too pushy, he can sort of basically indicate, look, I could always turn to the Russians. And likewise, he knows that Putin can't push him too far. So I think, again, this is exactly a sign that other powers are rising in the region. And what they really want is, yes, they want trade deals and energy and all the other sorts of things, but they also want Russia to kind of recognize its new, more limited capacities and to, in a way, just back off.
Just very briefly, how secure is Putin's position himself? We keep reading about people, changing defense ministers and army generals. Does he have to keep shuffling the pack to keep himself safe?
Look, he's pretty much secure at the moment. In effect, because there's no alternative. There's a lot of people who are unhappy with the situation, but no one can really start having the conversations about how we replace him. If there's some kind of sudden, unexpected shock, things may change. But otherwise, I'm afraid we're stuck with Putin for the moment.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much. That's Mark Galeotti, the Russian security expert, or the expert on Russian crime and security, talking about the implications of President Putin effectively apologizing for bringing down an Azerbaijan airline.